confront. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Jackson! You're too young to be a crater in the dirt! Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? Damn. Well, that draws an end to both our hopes for those boots and our association with poor Jackson. He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allowed the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I admit it looks bad, but please don't tell me you're filing a complaint. I didn't ask for these Protectorate sods. They were assigned to me.
That's unnecessarily hurtful. But I understand why you're lashing out.
No. I mean, yes. Well, maybe. Probably. I'm fairly sure Jackson thought the boots would work. A mistake likely inspired by misbegotten faith in his old way of life. But Ida... I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly! Because he had no idea how science works and thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So when I told him to jump, he opted for open air instead of where I told him to go. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they can give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault. What? But that doesn't make any... Look, are you gonna help us or not?
Oh, thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. Oh, you're by our crop of Brachythecium rotabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. Poor Ida. She wasn't able to overcome a lifetime of protectorate programming. Well, thanks to you, she failed. And that's one last insult to the Sovereign I'm happy to oblige. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. I'm sorry he's gone. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
So, the platform still works? That's amazing! Not that we'll be going up in it again. For that, you deserve a little extra on top of your urgently improvised extortive rate. Thank you again for all your help.
Sorry, jawing with out-of-towners is top of mind now.
Might I have a word, Commander? I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. Avoid it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island. The doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-protectorate, a good man. Tracked on the Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit? No. I mean, at least not since that time I tried mixing my own detergent, but I'm sure you don't want to hear about that. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Likely not. We didn't exactly leave off in a good way. Traded some hard words over promises I made and ought not have. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Resistance is a mite strong. It wasn't like he was part of some greater movement. He avoided speaking out of line, but he was already spinning up discontent by the time we met. Not sure he'd see it that way. Not anymore. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's Arbiters and Sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Guess some of what you said way back when stuck. All that talk about putting people first. Figured that's what I was doing. Putting a stop to all the pain I was causing. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
Just any choice when you could choose Auntie's choice.
For me, Doc. I'll be over here. Definitely not in excruciating pain.
Blood and bile are covered under our standard sanitation tax. All other bodily excretions may incur an additional surcharge.
Don't mean to sound unsociable, but you might not want to stand so close. The bleeding ain't contagious, but it ain't slowed much neither. I hate to bleed all over you. Wouldn't mind conversating a bit, though. Anything to take my mind off the pain. Oh, it stings.
This unit is not permitted to operate within corporate-owned medical facilities without said corporation's consent. Non-legally binding reassurances, however, may be offered.
Reassurances, you say? Like what?
Deploying reassurance. Do not worry. You will be fine.
I guess that's something. Look at me, drawing comfort from a drone after being attacked by one. Funny world, ain't it? I was on sentry duty, bravely surveying our perimeter for threats, when a Protectorate drone attacked out of nowhere. Third time in as many days. I returned fire like it was a cereal. Bang, bang, bang! Pew, pew, pew! Oh, not excessively, of course. Don't want Auntie taking that extra ammunition out of my paycheck. Again, it was all going fine until the damn thing blasts me while I'm reloading. Mighty uncourteous, you ask me. I'd prefer if they were. Like with little butler hats, programmed to say pip pip and the like. Wouldn't be cost effective, but it would be adorable. Anyway, Trooper Faulkner happened upon the scene just then and dispatched the drone before it could finish me off. No idea where these drones are coming from, but Faulkner's been having a time of it lately. Be nice if someone helped out, but Carr's hands are tied. Lack of resources, I guess? As for the rest of these fine folk, they were attacked by Protectorate while defending the forward operating base. Imagine the base is probably hurting for warm bodies just now. Posthumous clause in our contract prevents any work from being performed by a deceased member of Auntie's choice. Although, if there were ever need for an exception, it'd be now. The FOB's our main line of defense. The only thing stopping the Protectorate from sending their legions over that bridge of theirs and attacking us here in Fairfield. The man in charge, Commander Torres, is a legend. Rumor has it his troopers are relentless, fighting through wounds that would kill most. What I wouldn't give to join his outfit. Now, there's an idea might be worth considering. They do say the quickest way to a promotion is by climbing over other bodies. It's all a moot point till I can get this arm of mine mended. Poor Doc Barnes is working himself to the bone trying to take care of us, but he's only one man. I suppose it could be worse. At least Command's not throwing us at that relay station. Can't imagine the casualties he'd be dealing with then, given all its defenses. That sounds great. I'm sure Doc Barnes would appreciate the help. You'll find him in the next room over. Just be prepared. He's not too keen on interruptions.
I must ask you to hold still.
My liver ain't the lily kind. Tell it to me straight, Doc.
The bullet shattered your tibia and all but demolished your gastrocnemius muscle. Due to the risk of infection, I have to abscise your leg. There is good news, however. I recently enrolled in a course on advanced amputation techniques, so I'll be seeing a positive return on my investment sooner than expected. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be my replacement, since you're so clearly qualified to do my job. I am not required to answer that.
Say, how sore are my pockets gonna be after all this, Doc? Don't suppose there's a discount for only taking a portion of the leg?
I'm not running a charity. If you desire full treatment, you'll pay full cost. If that's a problem, seek compensation from your commanding officer. Well then, she should have thought about that before getting shot.
This is a mighty big decision, Doc. Can I have a moment to noodle on it?
I don't encourage delays, but very well. It'll take a... Short of you skipping back in time and ordering the coagulant I need, I doubt anything can be done to accelerate the timetable for treating these soldiers. I can barely get the damn thing to produce antiseptic, so I sincerely doubt it. But if you've the training to work such a machine, you're welcome to try. Now, was there anything else? Some. Most still tout the all-healing nature of Protectorate medicine. But despite that, they're surprisingly amenable to accepting treatment.
They ain't grown up with the right to dissent. Probably wouldn't even occur to them to turn down poison if you told them to take it.
Good thing I don't prescribe poison then. Normally. In truth, I expected more resistance given the sudden transition. But I'm not one to complain of a headache I don't have. I'm rather amazed. How did you manage to formulate coagulant with only a handful of ingredients? Oh. Well, yes, obviously that was going to be the next thing I tried. In any case, I hate being in debt to anyone, so here, something for your trouble. It's your lucky day, Trooper. Not only has our good Samaritan here suggested an alternate form of treatment that will allow you to keep your leg, but they've also made a coagulant that will greatly reduce any complications as I excavate the tibia shrapnel from your remaining muscle.
That still sounds kind of painful.
I'm going to administer a localized anesthetic. You'll hardly feel a thing. Now, if you don't like needles, I'd advise you to look away.
Take whatever business you're running out for.
I'd say welcome back, but I reckon a clinic's likely the last place any of us would choose if we had the choice. If you're here for the doc, hope you ain't in any kind of hurry. Wait's still on the long side of short. Much obliged. That feels night and day better already. Protectorate forces won't know what hit them once I'm back in the field. Thanks again, friend.
Keep your petty skepticism. I'll pay my tab in no time. You'll see.
I see a huge opportunity for us in Fairfield. There's zero competition and plenty to drive people to drink. Welcome to the name-pending saloon, purveyor of spirits and stimuli. What'll it be, stranger? That is an ensuing step on my 19-point business plan. Trying to find a name that would convince patrons to spend their hard-earned bits here. Like to hear a few contenders? At present, my top favorites are 1. The Drunken Haggler, 2. Accessories, 3. Absinthe-Minded, 4. The Fair Shake. Now tell me, which would make you spend your hard-earned bits here? Well, that's what we'll call it then. I'll tell future business partners we did extensive outside testing. I can now check off step 18 of my business plan. Shh, not so loud. Look, operating a new location sure ain't easy. Swear I get blamed for anything going wrong, whether it's my fault or some foul up from the local head office. But the nice thing about Fairfield, if you sound like you got some know-how, people believe just about any bit of hooey or bunkum you declare. Why, sure. You'd be surprised how much loose talk and idle speculation occurs around here. What, between them Protectorate defectors, finally able to speak their minds, and all our off-duty Antes employees carping about work and the war. Any particular topic you have in mind? Oh, Minister Milverstreet's blessed with the gift of gab. Swear he could sell bypass shunts to a raptidon. Ain't one of them falsely magniloquent types, though. Sincere fella. Shares command of Fairfield with Acquisitions Officer Carr. She's blunt and murderous. 2 traits Auntie's Choice highly prizes in a commander of corporate forces. To say they have differing approaches to leadership is like saying, gee, suns are hot, whilst being incinerated in a solar eruption. Vox Station's run by a brigadier by the name of Montelli. Sounds like he's as much a danger to his own troops as ours. Real piece of work, even by Protectorate standards. Reportedly enamored of show trials and summary executions. Tell you one thing you can't avoid, the bridge. No other way around it, and at present, it's held by Protectorate forces. We have a small contingent of troops bivouacked nearby. Forward Operating Base, they call it. You're asking me for the particulars of a high-level corporate acquisition. Like an in-depth accounting of the various parties who vied for control and who won out in the end? They merged, rebranded, Auntie Cleo seems in charge now. Dunno. Do my best to steer clear of corporate intrigue. My pleasure. Got anything for me in return? No. All of them? You mean the critters from Plague of the Mind parasites are real? Oh, gracious. Sure glad there ain't no inside-out monsters or their like around these parts.
You ever seen the one where the two fixers give a beatdown to that rabid primal? That was us.
Yeah, let's consider that one our little secret. We spread that too freely, people here might just plumb succumb to terror. All right. Appreciate you dropping by.
Oh, you must be one of my copious direct reports. Rest assured, I'm making adequate progress in my manual labors. Time for another performance review already. Apologies, I'm still applying the required elbow grease to scour these surfaces, just like a novice facility sanitizer should. Many thanks for the validation. I don't suppose you can spread the word of my competency. I desperately seek to avoid yet another demotion. This meritocratic society is still so foreign. The workplace skullduggery, the prioritizing of self over community, the excessively colorful nutrition. It surely is. I was a drone operator right here in Fairfield. Gave nigh on 50 years of zealous service at my terminal before Auntie showed us the wonders of consumerism. Never even heard the phrase job security up until a month ago, but it seems I lack it. Can barely keep up with all these gumptious sorts. Well, you're right. I wanted change. Whole reason I left the Protectorate in the first place. No sense complaining about the means now.
Well, don't you look thirsty for fulfillment and value. Welcome back to... Oh, what was it again? Oh, right. Absent-minded. What'll it be, stranger? Pick your poison. And I am mostly not being literal there.
That guard wasn't being ironical about the giant hologram over town hall. Well, guess we ought to go acquaint ourselves with that minister like she said.
No signs of corrosion. Exhaust manifold still warm. Come on, baby. I can't help you if you don't tell me what's wrong.
This paradigm of yours, or sovereign, or whatever, does it really provide everything you want?
We are provided everything we need, not everything we want.
There's a difference?
You need what you need, but you don't need what you want. I suppose it's a subtle distinction.
Trust me, I need my Auntie's Choice Sprat Crisps. No way you can eat just 100.
Just taro excrement. Heavens, Auntie, you scared the living daylights out of me. Shouldn't sneak up on a man like that. Good way to earn a bullet betwixt the eyes. Could be a little of both, I'll grant you. I've been so wrapped up in my business, I'd barely notice a ship dropping out of the sky if it didn't land on me. Guess I should apologize for all that hullabaloo before. Just mistook you for another unfleshly manifestation. Look, I know how it sounds, like I'm a few crabbles short of a hurt, but just hear me out. It all started the other night. Saw a personage leaving the greenhouse, late. Figured it for Emmeline, but when I asked her about it, she didn't know what I was talking about. Happened again the next night. Gave chase that time, but lost them hereabouts. I turned a corner and they'd up and vanished. Or maybe this entity only had the strength to manifest but briefly on this mortal coil. Communication would have proven too difficult for a being of pure information. Well, maybe. I still don't know all the particulars yet, but it's one theory. Yeah, we are all molecular machines and whatnot. I'm familiar with the 6 pillars of scientism. Guess I figured that was more open to interpretation than none. I certainly won't say no to having a fresh set of lamps on the scene. Just be careful. Hate to see you disappeared like that foodstuffs.
I suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples. Is that not why you've come? Because you discovered our recent larceny at the greenhouse? The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. You must have a weak mind to have fallen prey to such dubious marketing. I bet you don't even know half of what's in what you consume. The horror of it. Starving? Hardly. We have greater stores of strength than you suppose. This hunger is a momentary distraction, nothing more. Do not speak of biology to me, interloper. We are not the same. I am built in accordance with the paradigm. And you are insubstantial, weakened under the burden of choice. If you are conniving for some concession of weakness, you will be a long time waiting.
Thought I saw you disappear in here. Oh. Seems I've stumbled into quite the shindig. You lot been hiding out in here all this time? Touch cramped, ain't it?
The more I listen to invaders blathering, the more convinced I become of the need to rid our fair island of your wretched stupidity by any means necessary.
Not very copacetic, are you folks?
If this exchange is not to your liking, I can accommodate you with a bullet instead. Spare me your insults. They mean less than nothing coming from the mouth of a corporate pet. I would sever my own hands at the wrist rather than sign a corporate contract. A generous offer. But we prefer to die in the service of the Sovereign. I will admit, dying like a cornered sprat is not the righteous future the Order predicted for me as a child. But what other option is there? Failure is disallowed. Surrender is treason. You must think highly of your skills to believe you would come out on top during an engagement. But undoubtedly, there would be casualties. Very well. With so many invaders yet to slay, I would be remiss to relinquish our lives in such an unworthy duel. We surrender. For now.
That was some slick talking. Can't believe you got them to surrender without firing a shot. I thought for sure we'd have to blast our way out of here. Guess I had this mystery all wrong. A small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. I appreciate that. Never really talked about the direction of my thoughts on this topic with no one before. Wow, it's like I'm lighter. Thank you for everything. Truly.
Welcome, welcome. See anything you like? Well, if it isn't a new face in Fairfield. What I meant to say is that we now have the new improved Purple Berry Crunch. Now with 10% more flavor. Or was it crunch? Of course. Though I must also apologize for my inappropriate courtesy a moment ago. You're here for delectable discountables, not my pointless observations. Anyway, let's try this again. Welcome to More Perfect Goods, a proud Auntie's Choice franchise. How can I improve your day? Thanks for noticing. All part of the presentation, of course. Think success, present success, be success. Sprats again. Must be after the crunch. Please wait here. This'll just take a moment. No sign of them sprats, thank law.
Without frozen, dried, smoked, and be free with
Back out. Be there in a moment. How can I improve your day the Auntie's way? I've been working the store going on a few weeks now. Got promoted shortly after Auntie's Choice liberated Fairfield. Still finding my stride with all the marketing suavities, as you witnessed. Advertising's been a right struggle to get a hold of, much to my chagrin. Well, advertising is an essential part of my business. But I haven't got any new products to advertise. Just the same stock I had yesterday. And the day before that. According to the guide, in situations such as this, I'm to consult my marketing department for new copy. Except I don't have one of those either. I didn't want to seem discourteous by asking. I still sometimes forget this isn't the Protectorate. Maybe I will put in the request. That'll sure show some initiative. Thanks for all your help. I'm sure you'll find something that'll fit your liking.